Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Explicit Sage. Thank you for joining me once again on the channel, and we're going to have another Patient Gamer review, and the agenda today is the Sniper Elite 5. Now, let's be honest, you probably have never heard about this game series. It's essentially a mission-based sniper game where you accomplish your goals for the Allies in World War II, and you guys are given the name as the Resistance in the empire controlled by Germany, of course. Every single game is set in a different nation where the battles of World War II essentially took place. The previous one was set in Italy, and now we are being set and deployed in France. Now, I haven't played a single player game in quite a while, so Sniper Elite 5 was essentially how I was going to break my story-driven game fast. I've been playing a lot of online games, playing quite a bit of Fortnite when actually enjoying the zero build portion of it, but I'll be honest, this new season that's currently out right now, I'm not really enjoying it right now. It's okay. The weekend skin was very fire, which I was able to procure, and had very cool emotes. But other than that, in terms of playing online games, I'm not really interested in playing any of them right now. So switching over to playing a story-driven game was definitely the change of pace that I needed. So as usual, we're going to break down this game into the necessary categories and talk about every single thing that you need to consider if you're going to play or purchase this game. We'll also consider and talk about the multiple ways in which you can get Sniper Elite 5 regardless of whatever device or store you're using to procure this game. Welcome to the video, and let's enjoy this Patient Gamer review of Sniper Elite 5. Now, as previously mentioned, Sniper Elite 5 isn't definitely by any means a well-known or popular series. It's developed by a little, you could consider a low-key development studio based out in the UK in Oxford, or initially developed in 1992, and they are definitely well known for the Sniper Elite series. If you ever heard about Rebellion, Sniper Elite is not far away. Now, this is a mission-based sniper game. Action is the way to go. It's fundamentally a stealth game through and through. You can attempt and try to go through guns blazing, but that is definitely not the way in which I would recommend you to play this game, and I'm sure no other reviewer would consciously recommend you to try and play Sniper Elite 5 by going guns blazing. It's definitely not the way to go, and you're not going to enjoy the game in the way in which the developers intended. You are given an array of weapons, an array of gadgets, and you have to dispatch of your enemies correctly. And you'd think, oh, this is a sniper game. Clearly it's all about assassination. Not exactly. Actually, most of the missions and things you can complete without assassinating or defeating one of the targets. In fact, surprisingly, for a sniper game, it gives you quite a number of options to attack and complete your objectives non-lethally. So if you're someone who wants to be more so of a pacifist, you don't want to resort to violence, you're more of a go free lucky type of guy, you definitely have those options available in this game. It actually kind of reminded me of Dishonored a little bit of in a way, where they actually give us real options where we can be peaceful and still complete our objectives. The only difference is that I'm not sure if there are consequences to your decisions. I don't know if going lethal or non-lethal is going to have any ramifications on the overall story. That I'm really not sure, but I really didn't see any much of a difference. It seems to be just the way in which you want to play. You want to go guns blazing, or you want to be peaceful to the Nazis. Hey bro, be the better man and be peaceful if you want to. But that's all I could tell from that. In terms of a gameplay experience, yeah, this is the 5th iteration of Sniper Elite 5, but it definitely does still suffer from some jankiness. Clearly this isn't some huge big budget studio that is able to sink hours and hours of improving the smoothness and making this a really great and good experience. There are aspects where the game is really good, I'd say in the shooting and the sniper, but everything else definitely becomes a little bit more rough and a little bit more tough. If you're out in the open and you've been caught and one of your enemies has now rung the multiple alarms that are spread out throughout the entire game, and you have to go to cover and be shooting out and be in shootouts, this is probably Sniper Elite at its worst. In terms of being in a shootout, it's definitely not enjoyable. The jankiness goes to absolutely brand new heights, and it overall just becomes a very difficult experience to endure. It's very weird, especially with the camera placement, because this is a third-person game, by the way. When you go into the sniper, you go into the eye of the scope, but when you're in combat, when you're in cover, when you're trying to use a submachine gun or a shotgun, whatever your secondary weapon of choice is, it becomes a whole lot more difficult to be able to stay in combat and stay engaged with your enemies, because the way the camera moves, if the enemy comes up close to you or they're running up to you, it becomes very difficult for you to aim and properly dispatch of your enemies. And that's where I'd say they need a lot of work. Second issue that I could immediately point out from the gameplay perspective is within the stealth. It definitely does feel a bit gamey in some instances, like how they're just automatically easily able to find you. I'll cause havoc in some other area, move very quickly to another area, and immediately they'll find me. And I find it just very odd, like, damn bro, like, how did you guys know I was going to be here? I've literally been hiding in this spot for about 2 minutes, but you already know where I'm supposed to be. Sounds very odd and a little bit too gamey in that sense. Your ability to hide and escape from your enemies becomes a little bit too difficult and unrealistic, which really breaks the immersion in these type of games. And as I said, there's quite a bit of jankiness, so if you're looking for a smooth next-gen newish game, this isn't what you're going to expect. I'd rather consider Sniper Elite 5 and probably the entire series as somewhat of a AA game series. It's not like big budget like the IO Interactive Hitman series or Dishonored or these other type of games. Even though the budgets they worked with may have been similar, what they were able to produce by the end of it all is not on that level. Now I've spoken a wee bit about the action, the gameplay, the stealth mechanics, and all of these type of things. The AI is decent, but as I mentioned, it does get a bit too gamey where they're able to exactly pinpoint exactly where you are from the shot you took, even if you have a suppressor. It does break the immersion a bit, but they don't just leave you high and dry. It's all about the mission, it's all about the mission. If you care to watch and notice that there is a bit of a semblance of a story as you attack one of this big dog in the Nazi army, the Kraken, and as you continue to complete your missions, you'll continuously, slowly degrade the Nazis' operation in France. And as you continue to do that, you'll get more cutscenes, you'll interact with more people that are part of the resistance, and it's a pretty interesting tale overall. You'll enjoy yourself, and if you are someone who wants a story, the cutscenes are there and they are well executed. The voice acting is solid and it does feel authentic. Now, the things that you're able to do at times may seem a little bit far-fetched, as your guy is able to actually achieve quite a huge amount of things as one person, but that's just something you need to throw to the side. As long as you're able to toss away the believability of some of the things that you're able to accomplish, you definitely will have a good time and you will enjoy Sniper Elite 5's story that they serve on a platter to you. It's not going to be a top-of-the-line gourmet restaurant, but you'll be satisfied with it, and it'll be something to keep you pushing along as you try and find out the conclusion of the entire tale. Now, considering the game's systems, there is a robust upgrade system that you have available to you, but after you've done about three missions I'd say it does kind of become relevant. There isn't that much progression that you can make. Even in terms of your weapons, you are given a huge amount of upgrades very early on, so only after a few hours you'll be able to see the arsenal that you have available to you. If you go ahead and download a bit of the DLC, if you just it really helps to be an observant gamer, because you can get a few benefits, a few extra skins, and there are a few DLC weapons that are available that you can pick up, mainly just a shotgun that's really going to impact your game much. And as you continue to upgrade and play the game, you're going to see that there aren't really that many weapons that you can really switch to, and them not allowing you to add a suppressor to your snipers definitely does add an extra weight to the action that you make. So if you're going to take a long shot, you have to make sure that your positioning is good. Make sure that you're in a safe area, because if you're not, you're going to suffer dire consequences for making a very foolish decision and giving away your position. Because I'll be honest bro, when that alarm is rung and the reinforcements come in, it's almost impossible for you to recover. I remember I was playing the first mission of Sniper Elite 5 and almost quit because of how difficult it got after reinforcements were called. Now, Sniper Elite 5 also introduced a pretty interesting online component to this game. This is fundamentally a single player game with a cool campaign, but there is an option for you to interact with other players. They introduce this in a way that kind of works cohesively with the narrative of the game. They're called Axis Invasions. With these Axis Invasions, if you allow it in your single player game, other players, if you of course you have your subscription paid, whether on PlayStation or Xboxes, or if you're on PC, of course you'll be able to play it at your will. So if you have your internet connected, people and other players will be able to enter your game and essentially try and harp and destroy the operation that you're trying to do. Of course, if you're able to defeat this invader, you will be aptly rewarded with XP, bonuses, and of course the bragging rights of successfully defeating your invader. A pretty cool and interesting content to add into this pretty much fundamentally single player game where it's focusing on the mission and you completing your objectives. It's just something to keep the game interesting and cool as you continue to play it. The user interface itself is pretty good, it's well executed. You have a pretty good understanding of all the resources you have available to you at your disposal, whether it's your sniper, the multiple gadgets, whether it's TNT, it's grenades, it's med kits, it's bandages. You have an array of tools that you can use as you continue to explore the world. Exploration definitely is rewarded here because the more you explore, you can find some pretty cool and special weapons. You can find workbenches where you can alter your weapon throughout during the game. Perhaps you can see that, okay, the weapon I'm currently using right now isn't very effective in this current terrain. Perhaps it's time for me to make a switch, and you can definitely go ahead and do that. Other options are that you can upgrade your gadgets as you continue to level up, and you'll choose the type of build that you essentially want to go with as you continue to play the game. The world of France is definitely beautiful, and for a AA game, it looks pretty damn good. The environments are crisp, the buildings look authentic, and it's a world that you actually want to live in. It's just very sad that unfortunately during this time period, France is completely being plagued by war and death. Other than that, the world absolutely looks beautiful. The weakest thing I'd say in terms of visuals is definitely, one, the character models. Definitely very weak and not that great. Even the main character himself does not look that great. And I'll be honest, the thing that I showed you guys in the intro, the slow-mo camera, I don't know, but there's something about it that's kind of off. Doesn't look that great. Not at all satisfied with the way it was executed in its final release. I don't know what went wrong. I've heard guys say that in Sniper Elite 4 looked a lot better, so I don't know. So yeah guys, overall Sniper Elite 5 is a pretty decent game overall. If you go into this experience with, I'd say, medium expectations, not expecting something crazy, not expecting experience that's going to completely blow you away and blow you out of the water, I think you'll be satisfied with the experience that Sniper Elite 5 is able to give you. It's a decent game in an era perhaps where we've gotten a huge array of sensational games. Playing something in between is definitely not bad at all here and there, and the jankiness and some of the imperfections definitely can give you a laugh here and there. But before I go ahead and give it a rating and give you guys my full and conclusive thoughts on Sniper Elite 5, let's consider this from a value perspective. This is a patient gamer review, of course, so we have to consider from a value perspective. From how much money you're going to spend, is this game worth your time? Now today's special. Lucky for you, if you're on Game Pass or on PS Plus, you can go ahead and download Sniper Elite 5 immediately right now. If you're on PS Plus Extra and if you're on Game Pass, you can go ahead and download this game right now. So it's a no-brainer, bro. You can definitely go ahead and give this game a shot if you want to. But of course, if you're someone who's an individual, no, I prefer to procure and get my license myself, or wanna go ahead and get the disc, okay, I'll give you an idea of the prices that Sniper Elite 5 is. I'll be honest with you, considering these prices, I can't recommend this game to you. But I will let you know so you can make that decision, an informed decision for yourself. Right now, you can go ahead and collect Sniper Elite 5 for $23.99. It's on sale, and this is the deepest sale it has been on. Now, there is a number of DLC that is available for Sniper Elite 5, and as a patient gamer reviewer, I usually say, guys, go ahead and get the highest edition available for you with this game. But I'll be honest with you, bro, like, the Ultimate Edition is pretty damn expensive, bro. Sniper Elite 5 is still a relatively new game, so if you do want to purchase the game, you want to get it with all of the DLC available, I'd say perhaps wait a year or two for the price to go down to a price that's really favorable to you, because right now the complete edition is still pretty expensive. The lowest and deepest sale that it's ever had is only $49.49. That's gonna hurt the bank quite a bit, bro. So if you're looking to get the license for yourself and procure it, and don't worry about having to pay PS Plus or anything of that sort, yeah, it could be a bit difficult. So I definitely recommend that you go ahead and wait a bit, wait to procure the game. Now, if we're talking about the other way which you can procure this game over on PC, now this is where I'd say it is worth it if you're not going to be getting it over through Game Pass. It's a pretty damn good sale. Right now, the currently best deal you can procure Sniper Elite 5 today is $10.13, and the historical low is $10.12. So very affordable if you're going to be getting Sniper Elite 5 over on PC. It'll be probably a little bit easier to be aiming and have those quick reflexes when you're using a high refresh monitor, a good mouse with a really set well DPI. All of those things will really help you out if you're going to play it over on PC. And if you're on Xbox, bro, just get on Game Pass, bro. Just get it on Game Pass. If you're on PlayStation, get it on PlayStation Plus. It's an easy pickup. You can give it a shot, play it for a few hours, and if you don't like it, hey bro, you can push on to the next thing. But I definitely would say it's an experience worth having, and just to give the game a shot. If I'm going to give Sniper Elite 5 a rating out of 10, I'm giving Sniper Elite 5 a 6.8 out of 10. And I'm doing that very intentionally. A lot of guys say, nah bro, just stick to a number, stick to a solid number, take a stance. If you want to be like that, it's going to round way down. But I'll be honest with you, there are things that Sniper Elite 5 does well and areas where it definitely lacks. So it definitely deserves that 6.8 rating. It's a solid game, but it's not good enough to be a 7. There are other games that are much more polished that are at a 7.7 out of 10 that deserve way more recognition than Sniper Elite 5. This isn't a game that you're going to go crazy over, but if you're looking for something that's a sniper-esque type game, there aren't many like this. There are very few like this. It's a stealth game that's pretty decent. There is some issues, some gaminess to it, but it is still a decent game that I could recommend to you. So guys, those are my thoughts. And yeah man, let's have a discussion. Tell me your thoughts down there in the comments. Yeah bro, and take it easy man. I'm Explicit Sage, and I'm out.